Now at 11, a traffic disruption earlier today in Vancouver after a small plane has to make an emergency landing.
Getting it back to the airfield, yeah, I think it was a very successful day from that standpoint.
Plus, renewed conflict in the Middle East over a critical shipping route.
Give me clearance to go. Start fighting now. Let me turn back.
How Iran has responded to the U.S.'s ongoing blockade. And back in Portland, why a local group committed to helping children is asking for some help of their own.
It's hard to teach a kid Monday morning on an empty stomach.
Thanks so much for joining us here at 11. I'm John Adams. A miracle near the Columbia this afternoon after a small plane made an emergency landing on the highway, and it was all caught on video. Take a look. A regular Saturday afternoon turned into a day one man will never forget. Leon Koziarski was driving on SR-14 next to Pearson Field when he saw a small Cessna aircraft looking for a place to land.
Miracle that no car was right underneath him. There's kind of like a large gap in the highway where most of the cars were just coming on the highway, so there wasn't like a lot of traffic in front of him, thank God.
Koziarski grabbed his phone and recorded this dramatic video of the plane landing in the eastbound lanes of SR-14 about 2 miles from I-5.
He slowed down a little bit, took him about a full minute to stop, and then eventually he pulled off safely to the right side.
The Cessna had experienced mechanical issues soon after taking off from Pearson Field.
I know that airplane had an issue yesterday, and so they were working on it.
This man, who also flies out of the airport, says the Cessna was on a test flight at the time. He tells us pilots are trained for emergencies just like this one.
It's something that pilots try to practice, but yeah, it's not an easy thing to do. The pilot did an outstanding job of both keeping the airplane safe and just getting the thing down safely.
Neither the pilot or any motorists were hurt in the incident. A fortunate ending to a situation that could have been much worse.
The pilot, you could tell he knew what he was doing, and it didn't seem reckless or dangerous to the situation other than the cars being there. But it looked very controlled, so in that sense, it was cool to see.
Developing out of southeast Portland, police are investigating a shooting that sent a man to the hospital. Officers found the victim around 1 this morning near Southeast 10th and Pine. They were taken to the hospital and are expected to survive. The suspect had already left. Police believe there were multiple witnesses when it happened, and they asked those people to reach out and share what they know. Vancouver police are also searching for a shooting suspect that sent a man to the hospital. Officers were called around 2:20 this morning to a parking lot off of Southeast 118th Avenue and Mill Plain Boulevard. That's where they found the shooting victim. The suspect had also already left. The investigation is ongoing. In Forest Grove, the fire department was called after a tree fell onto a house. It happened around 7:30 last night off B Street and 23rd Avenue. As you can see, the fallen oak tree damaged a house in a neighboring garage. Fortunately, no one was hurt, and the fire department cleared the area of potential safety hazards. Well, the one thing we've been seeing plenty of so far this month, sunny and warm conditions. Today we are about 10 degrees above average, and tomorrow it's going to be even warmer. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri has more on what Sunday is going to look like. Hey, Joe.
Hey there. A typical almost late April day should bring temperatures in low 60s. Well, today we were above it by nearly 10 degrees, just above that, 73. And tomorrow we could be looking at temperatures a couple degrees shy of 80 degrees, believe it or not. We'll have this ridge of high pressure in place, and that's going to be bringing in, the warmer temperatures, but there's also a cold front out there out of the Pacific that's going to usher in some kind of widespread clouds to start the Sunday morning off. But as we get into the later part of the afternoon, it'll be more of a mix of clouds and sunshine. So here we are tomorrow morning, mostly cloudy skies, really across the state and through parts of the Pacific Northwest. Over in Southwest Washington, you'll see some of the clouds as well. But we go into the afternoon, those clouds lift a little bit. There'll be more kind of dense cloud cover throughout parts of the central and southern part of the Willamette Valley. The rain holds off until really late Monday afternoon, and when that rain does move in, it's going to be very light, and then heavier showers will be moving in for Tuesday, but a more organized system will start to pop up heading into the middle part of the week, bringing more widespread showers. I'll talk more about that in just a few minutes.
All right, Joe, thanks so much. A stunning reversal could derail the push to end the war with Iran. Today, Iran declaring the Strait of Hormuz closed just a day after saying it was completely open. NBC's Rolf Sanchez has more.
Tonight, chaos in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran declaring the critical waterway shut once again and allegedly opening fire on 2 ships passing through. A startling reversal less than 24 hours after it declared the strait completely open, sending oil prices tumbling and waves of relief worldwide.
They wanted to close up the strait again, as they've been doing for years, and they can't blackmail us.
Iran's Revolutionary Guard says it's a response to the U.S. maintaining its naval blockade, which is stopping ships sailing in or out of Iranian ports, calling it a violation of ceasefire agreements. Central Command says the blockade continues, posting footage of troops practicing an airborne landing onto a ship. While Iran's forces today firing near this Indian oil tanker approaching the strait, according to state media. You can hear the tanker crew frantically calling on them to stop the shooting.
Sepa Navy, this is Motor Angastan Marheadal. You gave me clearance to go. We're fighting now. Let me turn back.
No one was injured, but a second ship was damaged, according to a British maritime agency. Iranian state media says both vessels were forced to turn back. The chaos raising questions about the president's claim that a deal is close.
Most of the points are already negotiated and agreed to. You'll be very happy.
Iran voicing frustration with the U.S. approach.
American side tweets a lot, talks a lot, sometimes confusing, sometimes contradictory.
As the clock ticks down to Wednesday's deadline for the end of the ceasefire, with, so far, no deal in sight.
There are growing concerns about air travel heading into the summer. Jet fuel prices are skyrocketing due to the war with Iran, and that could send ticket prices soaring along with it. Airfares in March up nearly 15% compared to a year ago. Tickets for summer travel already up 13.5%. Overseas, the International Energy Agency says Europe could run out of jet fuel by the end of May because of the U.S. war with Iran.
If we are not able to open the Strait of Hormuz, if some of the flights from city A to city B might be cancelled as a result of lack of jet fuel.
Air Canada announcing because jet fuel costs have doubled, it's scaling back, temporarily suspending flights from Toronto and Montreal to JFK Airport in New York until the fall. Back in our area, Congresswoman Maxine Dexter discussed a number of topics, including the war with Iran, ICE activity, and education during a town hall in Northeast Portland earlier today. The Democrat has been a leading voice in calling for war power resolutions to limit President Trump's ability to engage in war with Iran without congressional approval. Dexter also discussed rising prices due to the conflict, saying people in Oregon are struggling to make ends meet. The Congresswoman calls the president's behaviors increasingly unreliable and erratic, which are ultimately putting the American people at risk, and push back on the president's notion that the United States is winning the war.
It's clear that we are not just losing in the Strait, the world economy has been destabilized because of him, and our own resources here at home are declining rapidly.
Dexter also says there has been another ramp up in the last week of ICE activity in the Portland metro and calls the actions of some ICE agents audacious and cruel. An update today into a legal challenge over gender-affirming care for underage youth. Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield announcing a federal judge sided with him and a group of state AGs to block the federal government from excluding healthcare providers from federal programs like Medicare and Medicaid if they offered care to transgender youth. The judge declared the Department of Health and Human Services lacked the authority to establish new standards of care the way they did, and then threatened hospitals and clinics that didn't follow them. A local nonprofit that keeps kids fed over the weekend is reaching out for a little help of its own. Those with Portland backpacks say the SNAP crisis and growing hunger in our region means fewer donated food items to go around. The interim director says she's seen their need for snack foods for children nearly double. The group provides more than 30,000 food bags for students in need at 15 elementary schools and has several more schools on its waiting list.
They didn't have enough food to get through the weekend, and they were coming back to school hungry. So most of the time the parents are working, multi-generational households. Once you pay all the bills, utilities, just trying to get your basics, and then there's like nothing left extra.
Portland Backpack also provides sacks of food for kids at 4 Portland parks during the summer. The group is in desperate need of food donations, scholarships, and volunteers. For more information on how you can help out, check out portlandbackpack.org.